Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, taking a look at what looks like a Star Wars The Black Series Commander Appo action figure. But the problem is, Hasbro has not made that, so what is this? Let's go ahead and get into the review and I'll tell you everything I know. So, ordinarily, I would start by giving you a look at the packaging. This didn't come in packaging. This came in a bubble mailer. I ordered this on AliExpress. This is weird to talk about. It is a bootleg clone trooper in the fact that it is the Hasbro Phase 2 clone body sculpt, the new one, not the original bad articulation one. But it has a unique armor set and paint sculpt, so it's almost like a custom too. So it's in that weird custom bootleg area. A lot of people will use bootleg Phase 2 clone troopers because they're cheaper, and Hasbro has not made an all-white Phase 2 clone trooper. They'll use these bootleg ones to make their own custom clone troopers just because it's a blank slate. They go for about $15, $16, $17. And you have everything you need. It comes with accessories. But this is really the first time I've seen where the overseas companies truly do something custom. Now, they have two that are not available. As I mentioned, they have the Phase 2 all-white clone with no Legion painting. But then they also have a 501st clone on this body mold, which is really just this figure minus, some of the extra accessories. But shout out to Skywalker Hendricks, and he's done a video on this figure and just talking about these bootlegs. He hit me up like a month and change ago, to tell me, hey, look at this, it just went up on AliExpress. And I had to do it, because I don't think Commander Appo is a figure that Hasbro's going to get around to anytime soon. So, this is really my first go with the bootleg clone trooper body. I had a bootleg Darth Maul back in the day when the orange box Darth Maul was a $100+ figure, and some of those bootlegs looked really good. And since then he's been archived, so I've replaced it with a legitimate one. But I just don't foresee us getting an Appo anytime soon. Another thing to note about this appearance of Appo is in the Clone Wars, he didn't have the shoulder pads or the pistols. He was just a 501st clone, but he had a little arrow on his forehead. And then in Revenge of the Sith, I did my research online on Wikipedia. It says that Appo went to the Jedi Temple Siege not wearing his extra pieces, just looking like a 501st clone, and he was the clone that threatened Bail Organa on the landing pad. Apparently the shoulder pads and the pistol holders are really sort of like almost like a non-canon extended universe, your old Legends, almost like he was in some comics or something like that. So it's weird, there's pictures of like a sideshow figure of him all armored up, but there's really not an on-screen appearance of him looking like this. But I'm okay with it, because Commander Appo just looks cool. He looks like a 501st Commander that looks more traditional than Captain Rex. So I've tried to work out what these pieces are from. Because ultimately the body is just a 501st clone trooper body. And apparently, now they don't offer a bootleg of this character, I don't believe, but a lot of the pieces almost seem to be reuse from the Hasbro Commander Bly figure. At least the shoulder pads do, because it has this strap that goes down and pegs into the belt. He's got these holsters that kind of kick forward a bit. Bly's also kick forward a little bit. He has a very similar cut on the skirt there. It's not around the front, it's almost more behind. So I think that they bootlegged the pieces from Bly and put them on Appo, which is fine. One thing that Appo has that Bly does not are these little pouches on his bicep, and they're actually a free-floating piece. They fit snug, they're not going anywhere, but you can rotate them and reposition them, and I kind of like the look of one on the front, one on the side. But that's, that's kind of what you got going on here. Another thing, because I do kind of want to help people be a little bit less leery about these, and I have a couple on order. I have one of the 501st, and I have 4 of the plain white, clones. I have those on order on the way. This took about a month to get to me. It was in the United States for like 2 of those weeks, but it just wasn't passing clearance or customs for whatever reason. But I do intend to do a video just kind of like talking about these and spreading the good word, because honestly, they're a quality product. I don't typically, like suggest going for bootlegs because it is money out of Hasbro's pocket. But something like this and the 501st and the Phase 2 all-white one, Hasbro's not making. Now, they did just announce, pipeline, we're going to get a Phase 2 and all-white after years of having this body. But, like, it's not money out of Hasbro's pocket if they aren't making it. So I can kind of condone this better. It's a really cool figure, and honestly, I gotta say, the quality on this is amazing. I've heard a lot of speculation. Obviously, we don't know, that's something to note. I was trying to stand them up straighter than the neck ball joint does pop kind of easy on mine. So that's a cue of it being a bootleg, other than Hasbro having not made it. But the plastic, we don't know where these come from. I've heard spitball speculation about it being, factory overruns, where, someone at the factory at the end of the day is just cranking a few out and sneaking them out to take home and put on AliExpress. I don't know that I believe that. Or if some, less authentic company who doesn't care about trademark law has just done a really good scan of a Black Series clone body. I don't know how they've done it. But these are not Hasbro authentic, although they do, something to note, is they do have Hasbro lettering on the feet. 2020 Hasbro, LFL, Lucasfilm. There is your standard Hasbro stamping. It's a really authentic looking fake, I do have to say. Something also that I kind of speculate about is, that all this works so well together. Is Hasbro planning an Appo that they just haven't told us about? And then this is just... Because, like, you could get... This is an authentic one, but the 13th Battalion Clone Trooper. You've been able... It just recently came available in GameStop in the United States. You could get it on AliExpress for the last couple of months. Same story could be said. Well, I guess it kind of just happened about the same time Walgreens got it, but you could get the 187th Battalion clone from this site for a couple of weeks now. So, like... they've been getting stuff earlier, same time, so maybe in a couple months we're going to get a Appo announcement, but I'm not holding out on that. So let me run through just some articulation on this guy just to give you an idea. One thing I'm not as keen about, the shoulder pad does hinder the head articulation a little bit, the pauldrons. You can't really look up. That's about all he's got. If you try to force it, like I showed a little bit ago, the neck ball joint just pops out. We'll put that back on. You can, of course, get your rotation, a little bit of pivot. The arms come up to about there. The shoulder pads get in the way. The actual arms, shoulder pads. 360 at the shoulder. There's a good working butterfly joint. Single jointed elbow that swivels. 360 on the wrist with left wrist hinging up and down, right wrist hinging in and out. Features a mid-torso ball joint. Allows them to crunch that far forward, that far back. You got some side-to-side pivot and rotation. His legs can kick that far apart. They can go that far forward, tiny bit back, upper thigh rotation. Single jointed knees can go a little bit past 90. The feet can point straight down, pretty far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker. So, like, it is the Hasbro Phase 2 clone body. There's nothing negative to say here. It's just been custom painted and had some pieces put on. To do some size comparisons, here is the 13th Battalion clone, who's going to be reviewed next. If he'll stand. We might have to talk about that in the review, huh? God dang it. Alright, here is Bad Batch Wrecker. So it just gives you an idea. He basically hits that 6-inch point, He seems a hair shorter than the 13th. I do have their legs posed slightly different, but, like, they're doing pretty good. And I gotta say, he's hitting the range right. So, end of the day, what do I think of this custom bootleg Commander Appo? I like it. I am happy to put this on the shelf. Look, You know, they have the bootlegs of the 13th Battalion and the 187th. I'm not gonna pick those up. I don't think I don't think you're going to bankrupt Hasbro if you do. I think there's a little bit of a it's not a real product type thing. You know, I don't know. I would rather have a real one on the shelf than a bootleg, but there is no real Appo. There is no going to the store, getting on Amazon or eBay, and ordering a Black Series Commando Appo to put on your shelf. If you want an Appo, you have to commission a custom, or you have to order this. You know, no one has one. So, like, you know, who would you be hurting in this situation? You know, if Hasbro comes out in a couple months and says, hey, look at this thing that we've been keeping secret for a minute, you know, and it's this figure, you know, man, it'd probably be worth just getting the real one. You won't have your head pop off as easy as mine does and stuff like that. But, you know, as far as the plastic quality here, I've had people telling me for ages on the bootlegs, and I finally got suckered in on this particular one. It feels like a real Hasbro figure. It's not soft, rubbery plastic. I haven't had any joints break. The joints aren't tight, but they're not loose. They're actually really nice. I gotta say, this has been almost more pleasant an experience than some Hasbro figures have been right out of the box, or in this case, the bubble mailer. So yeah, do I recommend the bootleg Appo? Absolutely. I think it's worth looking for. You know, if you want to track it down, just hop on AliExpress, type in, you know, Black Series Clone Trooper, and you'll see all the listings of the different clones. There are special listings of Appo. You'll get them for between 18 and 22 shipped, depending on the day. I've noticed the price seems to jump up about $1, drop down $1 type thing. So go track down Appo. He's a really cool figure, and I gotta say, I recommend him. Another one for the 501st shelf, which is really what my Clone Wars shelf over there has really started to turn into. 501st and 112th. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you all for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. I'm gonna go work on some other videos. So until then, have a good one. Bye.